button until you break it. Hit that follow button, comment, and hit on that like button until you break it. Today is going to be a different day, and over the next couple of days, I'm going to introduce you to the voices that you hear. Some of us, we hear voices. All of us. Nobody doesn't hear these voices. All of us hear these voices in our head, but we don't know what to do with them, and we don't know what they are. We're going to talk about the voices that you hear in your head every day. Yeah, and because and I'm streaming across all platforms, so if you see my eyes go like this, then I'm talking to other people. So whether you know it or not, and I'm talking about the voices in your head. Somebody put that in the chat. The voices in your head, the voices in your head. If you have not shared this out, even if you're looking at it on the replay, even if you are looking at it on the replay, then make sure that you share it out. You share it out with as many people as possible, because people want to know who's talking to them. Who's talking to them? Did you know that every decision that you make, literally every decision that you make, is influenced by a voice? There's no decision that you don't make that doesn't have the influence of a voice behind them. And let me give you a footnote to it. Not all of the voices that you hear are yours. Let me say it to you again. Every decision that you make is influenced by a voice. Not all of the decisions are yours. Not all of the decisions. Hey, Val. Not all of the decisions are holy. And get this, not all of the decisions that you make or all of the voices that you hear are not healthy. Let me give it to you again. We're talking about the four voices that we hear in our mind every single day. And every voice, everything that you do, every decision that you make, every path that you take is influenced by one of these voices. Alan is influenced by one of these voices. And let me say this to you, the voices that you hear, not all of the voices that you hear are yours. Not all of the voices that you hear are holy. And not all of the voices that you hear in your mind are healthy. The problem isn't that we hear the voices. The problem is we don't know how to identify them. Hey, Anessa, we don't know how to identify the voice. And I want to share with you how to identify these voices. Yeah. Because listen to this, confusion starts when you mislabel the person that's talking to you. That's where confusion starts. When you begin to mislabel or misinterpret the person that's talked to you. I want to introduce you to the four voices. There's the voice of self, and I'm going to go deep into it. There's the voice of self. The voice of self, that's your ego. That's your wisdom. That's the one that's dressed up as if you got some instinct. The one that says, I deserve better. But then that's the one that says, I'm tired. The voice of self. There's the voice of others. That's your mom, that's your dad. Those are the people that have lingered, that have made an impression on you. And those voices still linger in your mind. How many of us remember our first grade teacher or one of our teachers in elementary? How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? Anybody in here remember your first grade teacher or your second or third grade? You better, yeah, yeah. And you can pinpoint, even though it may have been 20 years ago, even though it may have been 30 years ago, even though it may have been 40 years ago, you can still remember the impression of what they said to you. You can remember how they said to you. To this day, when I grew up, the teacher would spank you When I grew up, the teacher would reprimand you, and it wouldn't be through a voice tone. When I grew up, how many of y'all remember when I grew up, the teacher would pop you and didn't even think nothing of it. Yeah, Val. The teacher would literally take. I remember I remember we had to all stand in line, and the teacher had a ruler, and she told us to hold our hand out. So my buddy Ronald, my buddy William, all of them, they went before me. And before I even got to her name was Miss Mitchell. Before I even got to her, I was already crying. And it's still the voice of others. Then there's and then there's the voice of the devil. The voice of the devil is the one that challenges you to make you think, to make you rethink who you are. Yeah, and so I'm going to dive deep into all of these voices and how do you hear them. And then there's the voice of God. The voice of God is always talking to you, but it's up to each and every one of us to listen, to what he has to say. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, and if, like I said, if you see me going across, that means that because I'm talking to a lot of different people across. I don't have one of those super phones where you can stream and listen and talk to all of the apps. So so first of all is the voice of self. The voice of self, very powerful. The voice that you talk to yourself. And I said this before, psychologists, get this, y'all, and I want y'all to use this. Psychologists say that we talk to ourselves, get this, at least 50,000 times a day. So in a 24-hour day, you talk to yourself 50,000 times. Can you believe it? 50,000 times you talk to yourself. I got to get it to you. And the thing about it, 80% of the things that you say to yourself is negative. So you talking to yourself, but 80% of it is negative. I'm going to come back to this. So you wondering why things are not going your way. You wonder why a lot of people suffer from sadness, or they suffer from a level of depression, or they suffer from a level of loneliness, or nobody can talk to them, or they have low self-esteem issues. It's because a lot of it comes from their self-talk. The critical question that I have to ask each and every one of y'all before I start: what have you said to yourself today that was positive? What did yourself need to hear today that you said it to us? It's the voice of self. So that means listen to me. That means that out of the 50,000 times that you talk to yourself, if 80% of it is negative, pull it up. Everything. When I tell you something, you can, statistically, you can Google it. That means that 40,000 times a day you saying something negative to yourself. Yeah. Sometimes you talk to yourself through wisdom. Sometimes the voice is ego. But then there's sometimes it's trauma dressed up as instinct. The voice of self is the one that will go through Amazon and will say, I want this. And it tells you that you need it. It'll go through Saks Fifth Avenue. It'll go through Neiman Marcus. It'll go somewhere, and you'll be in the grocery store. And then all of a sudden in the grocery store, you don't need those cookies. You don't need those chips. But the voice of self encourages you. Get those. It'll make you feel better. The voice of self will encourage you when you're out on Amazon. You need this. So it forces you to do it. But if the voice of yourself is wounded, the voice also becomes reactive. It also becomes defensive, and it also becomes fearful. I am telling you, you have before so that you can listen to yourself properly. You have to purify your voice. You have to calm yourself. You have so many people they walk around so defensive, feeling like they have to be reactive, that everything that somebody says to them, they have to have a reaction to it. Nah. The voice of self can uplift you, but the voice of self can also hurt you. Yeah. If you feel, if you hear a voice screaming at you, it's the voice of self. It's usually your ego. Right. Because a lot of us need clarity. We don't need a whole bunch of confusion. And in order for you to go from point A to point B, in order for you to make the right decisions, in order for you to walk the right path, in order for you to become mentally stronger, you have to discipline your voice of self. What good things are you saying to yourself? What disciplinary things are you saying to yourself? When is the last time you motivated yourself to go the path that you need to go? When is the last time you told yourself, I got this and nobody's going to stop me? Without any fear, without any hesitation, without any anxiety. When is the last time you told yourself you have to refine the voice that you hear? Why is that, Cook? Because you want to be able to trust yourself. You know why a lot of people, hey, Val, listen to this. Jeannie Rogers, listen to this. You know why a lot of people, listen to this day, a lot of people ask other people for advice? Because they don't trust themselves. A lot of people don't ask for a lot other people's advice. I mean, a lot of people go around and they ask, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? It's not because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't trust themselves. And the first thing that I want to give you this point and the voice, and while we're talking about the voice of self, is that you have to begin to trust you. Trust your own judgment so that when you're talking to yourself, there has to be a level of trust there. Why? Because if you don't trust yourself, then your discernment is off. Listen to this. If you don't trust yourself, your faith is off. If you don't trust yourself, your direction is off. Yeah. Why? Why is that? Because you're not thinking, you're putting other people's discernment and other people's thoughts before yours. No, baby. When you start talking to yourself, when you have the voice of self, listen, the only thing beats a failure is somebody that never tried. I'm sorry, the only thing that creates a failure is somebody that never tried. But when you begin to trust in yourself, when you begin to have faith in yourself, when you begin to carry yourself like you know yourself, you have a sense of direction. Somebody put amen in the chat. You have a sense of direction because you know that I said this. And if I fail at it, listen to this, Val. Val, if I fail at it, then at least I can only blame myself, and I'm the only one that can make the adjustments. I can make the adjustments if I fail at it. At least I don't have anybody else to blame, and I don't have to worry about going to somebody telling them, why did you say this? Why did you tell me to do it? No, 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 no. So that's the voice of self. Always know that your wounds will always volunteer advice for you. What you've been through will always speak through will speak first. Listen to this. Your pain, your misery, your stress will always speak to you first. Let me give it to you again. Your pain, your misery, your stress, all of what you've done, all of the negativity will speak to you first. That's why you'll always find whenever you turn on the news, Viv, which 80% of the news is about what? What's 80% of the news? Negativity. What the president is saying. Who did what? Who got unalive today? Who got a divorce today? It's negative. Who got caught? Yep, the war. Who got caught on camera? It's a blizzard coming, baby. There's so much negativity that you have to surround yourself so that your voice can be clear with a bunch of positive people. If you only have one positive person in your life, but you got 10 negative people, it's better to be with the positive person than and cut off the 10 regular degulars. You know, the one thing that I want to give you this, um, Jewish people, I want to give you this. I had an opportunity. Jewish people, Val, listen to this, Viv. Jewish people don't hang around broke people. Let me say it to you again. Jewish people don't hang around broke people because there you ever want to know where that rule comes from? You are the total of the 5 people that you hang around every day. Came from there. They don't hang around that. They only hang around people that's going places, that's doing things. Jewish people are less than 2% of the population, but they have 40%, get this, of the billionaires list. They own almost 60% of Manhattan, New York, Manhattan. Why am I sharing this with you? Why am I sharing this with you? Because the voice of self is also dictated, can also be the voice of self can also be infected by the voices of others. Who's in your ear? Who's talking to you? I remember many years ago, Val, many years ago, Colin Powell, he was the first African American of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Listen to me. And before we went to war in Iraq, I need to give y'all this. We had what's called weapons of mass destruction. How many of y'all remember that? Put a heart in the chat. Put a heart in the chat if y'all remember that. We had what's called weapons of mass destruction. How many of y'all heard when the president at the time talked about that? You remember that? Colin Powell, listen to me. Colin Powell got in front of Congress and the Senate. Listen, he got in front of Congress and the Senate, and he said to them, listen to me. He said, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. And Val, guess where that came from? That came from somebody else in his ear. Because George Bush put him in front of everybody in the world and had something in it. He had no verification. He only went off of what was told to him. And a lot of the inner wars that you and I are going through, a lot of the pain, the misery that we are going through, it comes from, listen to me, the voice of your past, but it also comes from the voice of others. Yeah. The loudest voice that you'll hear in your mind is not from the devil. It's not from yourself, and it's not from God, but the loudest voice is from others. It's from others. Not only is it the loudest voice, but it's the most confusing. It's social media, it's your culture, it's trends, it's friends, it's your parents. Why is it so loud? Because people project their fears on you. Not only growing up has people projected their fears on you, but people have rejected their limits on you. Not only have they rejected their limits on you, people have actually projected their wounds on you. Listen to me. And I get it. You have so many people that say that they got your back. I get it, Viv. I get it, Val. They say that they're gonna be with you. They're gonna ride. They call it. They say that they the ride or die. I get all of that. I get it. I get it. But a lot of their support sounds supportive, but a lot of it is rooted in insecurity. Because the same people, I need y'all to get this, the same people that will sound supportive will tell you, don't aim too high. They'll tell you, be realistic. They'll say to you, you're doing too much. They'll say to you, oh, just settle. And if you're not careful, you will live a life of borrowed opinion. I'm talking about hey baby, I'm teaching better than y'all tapping. I'm teaching better than y'all tapping. And if you are not careful, you'll live the life uh built on borrowed opinions. Yeah, yeah. The voices of other. These are the loudest voices. The loudest voices. That's why you have to remove yourself. Sometimes, Val, you gotta take a long ride. You gotta go 40 minutes. I don't care if you catch the subway. I don't care if you're catching the bus. I don't care if you're driving. You need to take yourself somewhere to a hotel far away where nobody can find you. Lock yourself in a room and cleanse yourself. No TV, no gadgets, just you, yourself, and God. You got to get to a place of isolation and make up in your mind, I don't care what happens, and I don't care what I've gone through. I don't care how many wounds I carry around. I don't care how much trauma I carry around. I don't care how much pain I carry around. I don't care. I don't care. Everything that has happened to me that was in the past, I am not going to listen to what everybody told me about myself. I don't care what they said to me. I'm getting rid of all of that negative energy and do a hard reset. It's needed. Yeah. It's needed because if because the voices or the people that you're around the most will shrink your vision. Not only will they shrink your vision, they will shrink your soul. They'll shrink your emotions. They'll shrink your all of that. They'll begin to shrink who you are becoming. Yeah. You have to ask yourself the critical question when you talk to people. Do what they're saying, does it match who I am becoming? Yes, we call them dream killers. Ask yourself the question when you meet somebody, does what they're saying, how does it help me? Or does it hurt me? The way that they talk, the way that they act around me, Is it helping me or is it hurting me? Is it rooted in fear or is it rooted in faith? Would this person trade lives with me? The voices of others. Would this person trade life? Do not outsource your calling to other people. So we talked about the voice of self. I told you how to overcome it. You had to filter the advice of others. I told you to ask the three critical questions. Is what they saying rooted in fear or is what they saying rooted in faith? Is it fear or faith? Is what they saying, does it help you to who you're becoming? And would they trade places with you? No, no. Just because they're loud doesn't equal, doesn't mean that they're wise. We think that the loudest, hey Gloria, welcome in. We think that the loudest person, we think that the loudest person, listen to this. I want to give you this. My uncle always told me this. We think that the loudest person is always the toughest. And we think that the loudest person is always the smartest. I never forget my uncle, he said one day he was in a predicament and he was in this predicament and what happened was he was around a whole bunch of men and he noticed one of the men was the loudest and a lot of the men around him feared him. Not because he ever put his hands on anybody, not because he was in a fight or anything of that nature. They've seen him fight or anything of that nature. They feared him simply because he was the loudest. Baby, oftentimes the loudest people are the most insecure people. The loudest people that's always loud in the mall are the brokest people. And the loudest people that you hang around are not as wise as you think that they are. Because if you don't, because I'm telling you straight up, because what happens is my mother said, if you continue to follow people that are blind, then the both of you will end up in a ditch. So I want to suggest to you, if you continue to follow people because you think that they're smart, because you think that they're smart, because you think that they are wise or they're tough, then all it is the blind leading the blind, the voice of others, the voice of others. Then there's the voice of the devil. I need to get here. The voice of the devil, he doesn't show up with horns. He's not pink. The voice of the devil, he doesn't show up with horns. He's not pink. He's not purple. He's not exactly. He's not purple. He doesn't have things in his head. He doesn't have a tail. He ain't got none of that. But the voice of the devil, he comes and he tries to whisper in your voice. Whisper. Tries to whisper. And he uses these words, and I need you to, this is how you distinct whether or not it's the voice of the devil. Nobody will know. Just do it. Ain't nobody gonna know. Just this once. They did you wrong. Now get them back. The devil has Jesus. He has him up. He takes him up every level. And every level that he takes him up, Val, get this. He challenges his theory. He challenges his thought process. He challenges his reasoning. If you're really the Son of God, throw yourself off. If you're really the Son of God, God will feed you. He will help you. He will send his aid. If you're really who you say you are. And that's how the voice of the devil functions. He'll come at you and he'll make you do stupid stuff. And you wonder why. He'll make you rethink your greatness. He'll make you do stupid stuff, call somebody and cuss them out. Val, I'm talking about this devil right here, Val. Val, I'm talking about this demon. Val, this probably the heaviest I've ever gone. Hey, Nene, I'm talking about this demon up in here, Nene. Yeah, I'm saving y'all. I'm saving you because I want you to understand the devil feeds your ego. Listen to me, y'all. The devil feeds your ego. He feeds your shortcuts. He feeds your pride. Did y'all hear me? He feeds your impulses. So you find out, you wondering why you go out and you buy a new car and you can't afford it. I want to give you something. I want to give you a rule to go by. Your next purchase. Put a heart in the chat if y'all are ready. First of all, let me pause right here. If you have not hit that follow button, make sure that you hit that follow button. God, I love you for this. God, I love you for this. I want to give you a rule going forward because it's always my goal to see y'all shine. If you can't buy twice, don't buy it. It's your rule of thumb going forward. Whatever you're thinking about buying, if you can't buy twice, don't buy it. If you don't have enough money to do it twice, it's not meant for you to buy. That means that you're not financially secure. You can't buy twice, then don't buy it. A buddy of mine does credit repair. I want to give y'all this. A buddy of mine does credit repair. Listen to this, Viv. He does credit repair. And one of his clients paid him to get her, one of his clients paid him to get her get her credit together. I want to give you this. One of his clients paid her to get the credit together. You're not going to believe this. He said, look, you're going to have to go give up. I want to give you this. You're going to have to give up your car and downgrade your car so you can go to the dealership. He said, because your car payment is too high. Her car payment was, I never forget this, her car payment was $982 a month. She goes to CarMax. How many of y'all know what CarMax is? Put a heart in the chat if you've heard of CarMax. You've heard of CarMax. Put a heart in the chat. Yeah, CarMax is a very, very popular dealership, a very big dealership. He says, look, in order for you to get this house, because your credit to debt ratio is too high. In order for us to get your credit right, you got to give up the car. Car's weighing on you. He sends her to the dealership. She had a Mercedes Benz. He sends her to the dealership. The next time she pulled up to his office, she has a 4-door Porsche. The next time she pulled up to his office, she went to the dealership. The next time she pulled up to his office, she had a 4-door Porsche. Her car payment was $982. She has the 4-door Porsche, and now her car payment is $1,272 a month for 8 years. The car payment went from 900. Did you hear what I said? From $982 to $1,272. And she comes to him wanting a refund. He done put in all of this work. He done sent these letters to his creditors. He put in all of this work. And now she wants a refund. I am telling you, the voice of the devil will put you in places that you can't go back. The temptation, when the voice of the devil comes, the temptation, listen to me, the devil never forces you. I want y'all to get that. Let me say it to you. So when people go around saying the devil made me do it, the devil never forces you. He makes suggestions. He gives you temptations. He makes these suggestions. If you just go ahead, you can go ahead and give him your number. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know he ain't no good for you. You can go ahead and take her to dinner. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know she ain't no good for you. Yeah, because his objective, he doesn't destroy you, he convinces you. So here you have Jesus. You see, he convinces you. That's the devil. When you hear, the devil is never going to force you to do nothing, but he's going to try to convince you to do everything. So you wondering why just one more time we have this notion, Val, where we always say Viv, just one more time. And what the devil is doing is that he magnifies, listen to me, he magnifies your desires and he minimizes your consequences. Give it to you again. The devil magnifies your desires. Your temptation, listen to me, this is your temptation. Your temptation never changes. This is you. This is your temptation. Your temptation never changes. It's just dressed up different. We're always going to be tempted. What stands in between you and your temptation is your desires. So the more I desire the temptation, what stands in between, the more I want it. The more I want it, and the devil knows I want it, is that he tries to magnify, he puts it underneath a magnifying glass for us. And he minimizes the consequences of it. I'm talking about the voice of the devil. Yeah, he makes you question it. All your secrets. All of what you want to do. He makes you rethink it. That's the voice of the devil. The one thing that you have to do, I want to give you a solution on how to overcome the voice of the devil, is that you have to think about it. Every time something is a temptation, think about what you're thinking about. Because he has a sense of urgency. He wants you to hurry up and do it so that he can trap you. Every when you look in the Bible, David is on the rooftop. Bathsheba is taking a bath. Go get her because you can. That's what he tells her. Go get her if you can. Before Samson, Val, listen to this. I got to go a little bit deeper. People think that Delilah was Samson's first wife. Delilah was not Samson's first girlfriend or wife. Samson wanted to date a Canaanite woman. And Israelites and Canaanites can't date. Canaanites was beneath them. But he tells his mother and he tells his father, go get her. I need her. I need her now. His mother says, no, you don't need her. Yeah, I need her. She was already with all these men. He said, no, I need her. Why? Because the devil gave him a sense of urgency. You got to act now, baby. Listen to me. Your blessings that are meant for you will not miss. Your person that's meant for you will not miss its target. Your blessings, your miracles, they don't miss. What God has for you is for you. Good God, I'm loving this teaching right here. I'm loving this teaching. Listen to me. So far we talked about the voice of others. We talked about the voice of self. We talked about the voice of the devil. So let me give this to you. Let's talk about the voice of God. Yeah. God has no emotions. I say this to you. God does not operate with emotions. He ain't going to sound dramatic. He's not going to sound, oh, you got to do. No, God ain't no beggar. He's not going to beg you. He's not going to keep asking you for permission. God don't need you. He wants you. And some people, they get leverage on their mates. They get leverage when they meet somebody, positioning that person as if they need them. No, he does not need you. He wants you. And let me say that for those of us that are seeking relationships, it's better for somebody to want you than to need you. Because needing you comes with unnecessary attachments. It comes with unhealthy predicaments. It comes with unhealthy drama. When a person wants you, that means that they've chose you. And it's better to be chosen and handpicked than for somebody needing you. Nah, so the voice of the devil, the voice of God, let's get into it. The voice of God, listen to me, does not compete. The voice of God is not going to compete with your voice of yourself. The voice of God is not going to compete with the voice of the devil, and he's not going to compete with the voice of others. The voice of God does not have any competition. It's a still small voice. God doesn't raise his voice in any octaves. He say what he say, and what he say is what he said. Period. If he said that he's going to bless you, he's going to bless you. Period. If they said that you're healed. Period. If he said that he's going to make crooked paths straight, he's going to make crooked paths. Period. He does not compete. He does not compete with terror. He doesn't compete with chaos. He doesn't compete with drama. He doesn't compete with stress. He doesn't compete with negativity. No. The voice of God corrects. The voice of God convicts. The voice of God stretches you. What do I mean by stretch you? The voice of God will tell you when the faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Good God, I feel this right here. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So God's voice will stretch you. Go ahead and go ahead and start buying that house. Go buy that house. But God, my credit is at a 5 something. God will say, go stretch that, go buy that house. He will stretch your faith. He'll have the loan officer there. He'll have the loan officer. He'll have the person, the survey person. He'll hook you up with the right real estate agent, and he'll have all of those in place. where you think you didn't qualify. The next thing you know, you're qualified. The house is yours, the key. He will stretch your faith. Faith is the substance. You don't need anything. God stretches you. I promise you. Let me quantify what I'm saying to you. When I went to this school, when I went to a law school, and I think I told y'all this before, but it's worth saying. When I went to a law school, I didn't think I was good enough to go to the law school. So I applied at a different school, a lesser school. God told me to go to the law school. I said, nah, I said, I ain't going there. So I went and I applied to the lesser school. The lesser school was the lesser school, I had to pay $150 application fee. I go to the other, they kind of denied me. They didn't give me any student loans. They didn't do anything. He said, I told you to go to the law school. Okay, I'm gonna go to the law school. I go there, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go. I filled out the application. The guy said, we might not let you in here. I said, but God told me. God told me to come here. So submit the application. He submitted the application. I want to give you this. The dean of the school wanted to meet with me. She said, I just want to see you. I just wanted to meet with you. It lasted 5 minutes. Get this. God had an angel in the finance department. All 4 years paid for. All 4 years paid for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. I got to give you this. You got to let him stretch you. I felt that whatever you're asking God for, you need to be stretched. And the only way that he can stretch you is when you give him your yes. God doesn't flatter you. He promotes you. He challenges you. High school players, when you're there, they rarely flatter their players. They challenge them. The voice of God, it calls you higher. It makes you want to climb mountains. The voice of God makes you want to do the impossible. The voice of God, it aligns you with his word, with his purpose. And the reason most people don't listen to the voice of God, because the voice of God doesn't always feel good. God is not in the making you feel good business. He's in the making you purposeful business. He's not in the I'm gonna make you feel good. No, because if he makes you feel too good, then you will try to get away from his relationship with you. I want to tell you how you identify God's voice. You identify his voice because he's always going to talk to you peacefully. And there's gonna be no yelling. Remember, I said this. The loudest people is the voice of others. The screamers, the person that screams at you is the voice of self. There's not gonna be none of that. He's peaceful. Do this, do that. No, don't do that. Because if you do that, these are the consequences. Don't go there again. No, don't do that. No. The voice of God never contradicts the truth. He's never going to put you in a position that he knows that you don't qualify for. He's never going to tell you to do something that he knows that's not for you. It doesn't encourage destruction. He's not going to tell you to go slap somebody. He ain't going to tell you to do that. God will call you to grow. I'm almost done. God will never yell at you. He'll always lead you. And when he talks, you listen. Listen to me. Lastly, so we don't get it twisted, God corrects you while nobody's looking, but he exposes you publicly through the blessing. He puts you out there. He'll correct you. He'll correct you privately, but he exposes you publicly. And he'll put you on a pedestal so that the world can see what he's done. Come here, come here, tap in, lean in for me, lean in. Can I teach you a little bit? Lazarus. Lazarus is at the, Lazarus has passed. Jesus called him friend. He passed. Jesus, Terry stays around Samaria for 3 more days. They wrap Lazarus up. They put him in a tomb. They closed the tomb. Mary comes to Lazarus and said, your friend Lazarus, the one you love. No, she said, the one you love has passed. That's what he said. The one you love has passed. Jesus went. He stayed there 3 more days. And so Lazarus is in the tomb. He's decomposed. Decomposing. When he gets to the tomb, listen to this. He tells the men, remove the stone. I'm closing right around here. Remove the stone. He tells the men, remove the stone. Mary said, Lord, he stinketh. Mary is concerned with the smell versus the person. And some people in your life, they would rather, listen to this, they're so consumed with what you smell like. They're so consumed about your past. They're so consumed with how you were, that they tell Jesus, why would you want to remove the tomb? Because they stink. He tells Lazarus, come forth. And in the Greek, when you read the text, he tells him, come forth. But he just doesn't say it in a monotone. He yells, Lazarus, come forth. And he says it not for Lazarus, but he says it for everybody else to hear. God will expose you publicly. Lazarus comes out with all of everything that they wrapped him up in. And all of the people that talked about Lazarus, all of the people that dogged Lazarus out, all of the people that talked bad, he had them take off the clothing. God will put you in position. He'll correct you privately, but he puts you on a pedestal publicly. And some of us want just to be put on a pedestal publicly, but we don't want him to correct us privately. I'm telling you, the critical question that I have to say, the thing that I have to say in closing, and if you have not hit that follow button, it's probably the deepest that I've ever gone. I've never gone this deep. The question that I have, the question that you're asking, well, Cook, which one will speak the loudest? And the answer I have for you. Which voice is going to speak the loudest? Because the voices change from day to day. The voice you speak the loudest is the one you sit with the most. Let that sink in. The voice that has the voice that's the loudest, the voice that is that you believe, the one that has the most power, the voice. Listen to me. The voice that's the loudest, the voice that controls you or has you. Remember in the beginning, I said to you, there are voices that influence your decision. Listen to me. The voice that influences your decision the most, whether it be God, whether it be others, whether it be the devil, or whether it be self, get this, is the one you commune with. The one you commune with. Who are you spending your most time with? I'm closing. That's the one. Whoever you spend your most of your time with will be the one that speaks to you, that will govern your decisions. So you wonder why you're not feeling good about yourself. It's because whoever you're spending your time with, whoever you're talking to, whoever you're texting, whoever you're calling, whoever you're conversing with, they're speaking the loudest. And don't ever think that it's too late to get rid of the other voices. Because the one thing about God is that God will always align himself with your purpose and not your comfort. He's not comfort food. He's purposeful. He's meaningful. He's everlasting to everlasting. He's almighty. He's El Shaddai, the all-sufficient God. He's El Elyon. Yeah, that's who he is. He's Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Tiskanu, Jehovah Jireh. He's all that. I'm telling you, whoever you listen to the most, he's Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Shalom, the God our peace. Because why? His peace surpasses all understanding. When is the last time you asked God to give me some peace? Because yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Fear no evil. Yea, though I may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but I ain't fearing nothing. Don't get it twisted. I can walk through there all I want. I ain't fearing nothing. Hopefully this blessed you. Do me a favor, everybody. I want you to hit that like button. Hit that like button. This took a lot out of me. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think I've ever been this deep. Never. Took a lot out of me. But I'm gonna get off. Hopefully, do me a favor, share, comment. I'm gonna post this on my YT page. Everybody go to my YT page, like it, make sure that you subscribe. Coach Cook. I wish they had replays over here, but I want to thank each and every one of y'all for spending time with me today. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you're looking at this on the replay, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. All right. And I'll hit y'all later, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort. I love you, but God loves you more. Till we meet again. I'll see you soon.